Hey everybody, I always get the most nervous filming a video when I'm going to talk about perfumes that I'm really excited about. It's a combination of making sure that I say, articulate the thoughts that I want to articulate about the perfumes and convey my genuine excitement. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about some upcoming releases from a brand called Boujee. It was founded by Pia Long and Nick Gilded. I actually knew the names before I got to meet them at Exons in Milan. I knew Nick really from way back when I used to listen to the Fume Chat podcast, about a podcast about perfume. And I was aware that Pia was a perfumer as well. And I first kind of sort of noticed Pia when she did one of the more recent zoologist releases, Chipmunk. She was responsible for Chipmunk, but I wasn't overly familiar with their work. At Exons, almost, I guess by accident, I was with Marie from Miskeo, and she wanted to go and check out the stand that they had there. And up until now, they were making candles. So I'm going to leave a link to the Boujee website in the description. And next month, they will be launching their line of perfumes, Eau de Boujee. There is one perfume that I won't be talking about today because I don't have a sample spray of it. And I didn't get to smell it at Exxon. So when you go to the website, there is a perfume called Boujee, which I can't talk about because I haven't smelled it. I'm going to go through each of them, each of the other four today. We have Queen, Queer, Verdant, and Gilded. And I'll give you a brief summary about three of them, and then I'm going to talk about Gilded a little bit more in depth. Not necessarily a full review, but it's the one I'm most familiar with and also the most excited about. So let's get stuck into it. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Queen. Now, as I'm talking about it, I'm going to list the official notes as supplied by the brand scrolling up on the screen, but I've made it a point to actually not familiarize myself with a notes list because I want to just describe to you what I'm smelling with these perfumes. Now, out of the four that I'm smelling here, Queen is probably the one that I would least normally wear. It's definitely not in the style of something that I would wear. However, it's a really playful, fruity, sweet rose perfume in its essence, and it's interesting because it might be a combination with the fact that it's beautiful hues of red rose and the fruitiness of that red rhubarb that I can smell, maybe other red fruits as well, or berries. And it's musky and it has a tinge of sweetness. But there's something almost a little bit fairy tale-ish about Queen, and I can't help putting the name and what I'm smelling together. And I definitely get imagery of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, and in particular, every time I smell it, I'm thinking of this is what Helena Bonham Carter's character in Tim Burton's Alice movie would smell like as well. It would be perfect for that character anyway. But like I said, it's a beautiful, it's not even a really big rose. It's just really boosted by this red fruitiness. Not tart either, and it is a little bit sweet to my nose, but really, really well made. My daughter smelled this and she really liked it. I mean, she's 18, so it's not surprising that she liked something like this. Okay, next on the list is what I would describe as the green perfume in this lineup. This is Verdant, and honestly, this one here, is the one I have the most kind of trouble describing, because it's a really, to me, it's a different green type of perfume in that it's not, for me, not me rolling around in the grass. It's not walking through a forest. It's not being in a wet tropical jungle. The green is there, but it's like a warm summer breeze that's picked up the scent of nature, plants. Even there's even a little bit of seaside meadow thing going on here to me, and it's like the breeze has picked this up, and it's traveling through an urban sort of environment. It also reminds me of children's playgrounds. I don't know what it's like in wherever you're watching in the world, but you think of like a very tree-lined park which has kids playing in playgrounds, very similar to ones I used to take my kids to when they were little. And it just has that kind of tinge of joy about it. It's very bright, uplifting perfume. It's definitely what I would describe as a breezy green perfume. This, just as another point of note, Verdant is the one that is at 15% concentration. The other three are at 20% concentration. So this is actually a lighter compound compared to the alcohol, the carrier in the perfume, but it still smells as present as the other three do as well. So there's no way kind of lessening the strength or the effect of the perfume. That's Verdant, and it's really lovely. So we get to Queer, that's Quir, and as you might be able to guess from the name, it is a leather-based perfume. This is definitely my second favorite behind Gilded. And it's interesting because normally this type of leather it could easily be overdosed in terms of my nose. I'm very sensitive to probably some of the aroma chemicals that can make up this type of leather accord. But here it's just done right, and right to the edge as well. So I'm so intrigued by the textures of this leather. It's a black leather. It has tinges of what to me feel like latex aspects, and strangely enough, it because of that, it reminded me of Bulgari Black. When it first came out, Bulgari Black was pretty groundbreaking, but that had a lot of sweetness, a lot of vanilla in the base. So I get that sort of leather rubbery texture, slightly burnt rubbery texture, minus any of the sweetness in this one, and it's also quite an oily leather. It feels like two pieces of leather have rubbed together, creating heaps of friction, and the heat has just sort of drawn oils out of the leather panels. And it smells almost a little bit subversive, in that it's definitely not a clean, elegant leather like you might get in some leather perfumes. This is all about a leather that could tell some stories, and not PG ones, but adults only. Okay, so we finally move to Gilded. Now, I'm going to spray Gilded on my skin because I almost feel with this perfume that it's too good to waste on a blotter. not to mention the fact that this smells even better on my skin than it does on any blotter I smelled on it. Okay, I'm going to make this very clear now. This is one of the best perfumes I've smelled in a long, long time. Not incense perfume, not not indie perfume, just perfume. Period. This kind of stopped me in my tracks when I first smelled it, without having, like I said, no expectations. I tried them out, put this on a card, then sprayed some on my arm, and I couldn't. I loved the fact that, again, I could not figure out what I was smelling, but then at the same time I didn't want to figure it out. All I wanted to do was just enjoy this smell on my arm. Okay. Essentially, for me, it's all about the incense blend in here. And what I think about when I smell this is a couple of different images. So I can't help but feel there is definitely sort of this weight on the perfume, like thick air, and made me think about the people who first discovered Pharaoh's tombs inside the pyramids in Egypt. I know it's a weird thing to think about smelling this, but just try and imagine sort of, I guess, entering that space for the first time, anyone ever being in there for the first time in thousands of years. You have whatever is kept in there, presumably lots of precious materials. Apart from all the dust in the room, the air being really potent with mystery and past lives and incense, resins, gold. And it's really, really interesting that that there is a fantasy gold accord in this, listed in the perfume. And what really struck me is that, like, there's been lots of perfumes with fantasy notes and accords listed, but they've never really quite hit the mark for me when I've smelled them. I can understand, I can see where they're going. When I smell this, I mean, gold. We're talking about gold. It's a metal, but this smell is golden. It's this combination of whatever different frankincense is being used, other resins like myrrh. In fact, like I burn some resins like opoponax and myrrh and frankincense on charcoal burners. There's something in here that like I want to say I can smell opoponax in here. Because it really reminds me of the scent I get when I'm burning it on charcoal. And I feel like that particular resin or incense is a very regal smelling one. This is like opening Aladdin's cave. I know we've gone from the Egypt's pyramids to Aladdin's cave. And I'm also going to talk about the alchemists and how they were able to supposedly turn lead into gold. And I feel like Piers turned incense into gold in some way on this perfume. It just hangs around the skin. It's trying to tell me a story that I don't quite understand, but I want to listen to and learn about. Incense, there is a sweetness in the base as well. It's almost like I want to say there's something slightly animalic in the base as well, whether that's musk or even some kind of civet accord in here, but it's just opulent, lush, like I said, heavy, but not in a way where this perfume can wear you. This just sort of blooms on my skin, blooms with heat, changes character when it's colder. I haven't been this excited about a perfume for a long time, and I'm telling you now, I should have mentioned right at the beginning that these sprays that I have were very generously given to me by Pierre and Nick at Exxon, so I really appreciate that. But damn, I'm going to buy a bottle of this Gilded, and I can't wait to have it, because even though I've got this much, I'm already anxious about running out of it. Please, when you get the opportunity, check out the website and get some samples, smell them, because you will not be disappointed. I'm confident you're going to like at least one of these for yourself. That's my little talk about Eau de Boujee by Boujee. Gilded in particular is my absolute favorite, and I'm sure that you'll like the others. So thank you for watching. That's all from me. Okay, bye.